What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for the very final new archetype feats of the Lost Omens character guide before we actually start tearing open the book and taking a looky-loo at them. Today, at long last, the Pathfinder Society. I think I may have missed the Firebrand's faction. We'll get that. We'll get there. This episode of Your Pathfinder This Many content was brought to you in part by our very newest patron. And on that note, I think I'm going to start calling people by their names on Discord. Brought to you in part by Accessible Games. Thanks for your help, my friend. Now, let's talk about the most meta faction in all of Pathfinder. In case you haven't heard, quote, the Pathfinder Society is a globe-trotting organization whose agents are dedicated to exploring the world, finding lost knowledge and relics, and reporting their findings both to the Society itself and to the rest of Golarion via the Pathfinder Chronicles, a publication released by the Society that is essentially a greatest hits of reports from Pathfinders. People join up with the Society for a number of reasons. Some want to seek knowledge, others prefer the glory that comes with their findings, others still join up for fun and thrills. Some join up because they have a few hours to kill at a con, but hey, it's all the same, right? Not sure if this part is new. TBH, this is a faction I don't know a lot about. The Society contains a few broad factions that cover most of these general aspects, and most Pathfinders typically associate with one or two during their career, though such an association isn't compulsory. These factions are the Envoys Alliance, a group dedicated to the well-being of the Society and its members, the Grand Archive, whose members are devoted to the pursuit of knowledge, and the Horizon Hunters, who prefer just to travel for the sake of exploration and locating new and forgotten sites, and the Vigilant Seal, who includes those Pathfinders who rise up to contain the threats the Society encounters on its mission. So as I mouse over this art, I know who's part of what faction, but can you guess who is who in the comments below? Can you look at this man with his muscly arms and dragon tattoo and think hashtag goals? I can. I wish I was a little more buff and would like some ink on me. Anyway, first on the chopping block today is an item of all things, the Shining Wayfinder. Uncommon, item level 4 with a lot of magical stuff on it, and invested. Set you back 100 gold pieces for a polished silver compass blessed by the power of benevolent deities. It has the usual functions of a wayfinder, except instead of an activation to cast light, the Shining Wayfinder has the following two activations. For 2 actions, hold the wayfinder and ask for guidance, and it casts guidance on you. Literally, you get exactly what you want. Nice. Or 2 actions, command interact once per day. You call upon the Wayfinder's divine blessing for yourself and your allies. The Wayfinder casts Bless with an emanation centered on itself. Once per turn, you can use a single action, which has the Concentrate trait, to increase the emanation radius by 5 feet. Bless clearly works much differently than it did in 1st edition. But yeah, sure, why not? Next, we see a feat for the Pathfinder agent that we saw in the Lost Omens World Guide, Recognize Threat. It's a free action with the prerequisite Master in a Recall Knowledge skill, as well as that Pathfinder Agent Dedication. The trigger, your first turn of encounter begins, and you can see a creature. If you have Master Proficiency in a skill to identify the triggering creature, you quickly assess the threat, so you can relay the information to your team, attempt a Recall Knowledge check against the triggering creature as a free action. That's pretty good. Let like 25 D4 splat books for 2nd edition come down, and let's get some monsters we don't necessarily know right off and recognize. And yes, that's that has this vulnerability. Did you know that treants are now called arboreals, and they have vulnerability to axes? Yeah, that's hilarious. But also, with this feat, it's not metagaming. Haha! But moving forward, quote, not all Pathfinders choose to be jacks of all trades. Part of a Pathfinder's training requires that they gain the approval of the 3 deans of the Grand Lodge before they are considered full-fledged agents. I guess that's probably easier than fighting the devils. Okay, fair enough, cool. These deans are known as the Master of Scrolls, Spells, and Swords, and each specialize in scrolls, spells, and swords. Scrolls train in knowledge, history, observation, and probably scrolls. The spells focus on magical lore and theory, and probably spells, and the swords teach recruits combat and swords techniques. Once they become proper Pathfinders, many agents continue to associate with their peers from grad school, and characters that want to represent this affinity can do so with 3 new archetypes in this book. The Scrollmaster, Spellmaster, and Swordmaster all follow in the vein of the society branches themselves. The Scrollmaster, for example, is about researching and being prepared and gains abilities to both further and make use of their extensive knowledge. On the other hand, the Spellmaster focuses on magic and using said magic for things like creating protective wards and even absorbing the spells of your foes to shoot them back. Deal. Got a pair of feats on this one. First, at feat level 8, Unravel Mysteries. With a Master and a Decipher writing skill and the Scrollmaster dedication, you can understand the true meaning of texts quickly, and even when you get lost or hit a dead end, you aren't discouraged from making further attempts to get to the bottom of things. When you decipher writing, you need only half as long as usual, reducing the time from about a minute to about half a minute per page, and if you fail, you don't take the usual -2 circumstance penalty to further checks. Not bad if you need to do that in a rush. Certainly if this Magic MacGuffin book has the answer to open the door and we need to read it right now, oh by the way, there's like 1d20 ogres coming at us, yeah, that probably comes in handy. The Spellmaster dedication requires an Int, Wiz, or Cha 14, the ability to cast focus spells, be a member of the Pathfinder Society, be affiliated with the School of Spells, and you get a +2 circumstance bonus when you identify magic with a skill which you are trained or better. If you have the Wayfinder Resonance Tinker feat, you can change the cantrip you chose each day during your daily prep. Okay, sure, versatility is real good, I like that. Last up today, Harrying Strike at feat level 10 with the Archetype Attack and Press trait and the Swordmaster dedication. Make a melee strike, adding the following effects in addition to the normal effects of the strike. On a critical success, the target takes a -15 foot status penalty to speeds until the start of your next turn. On a success, it's a -10. On a failure, it's a -5. Now, personally, I've never really seen a use for these kind of feats. Oftentimes when we're hitting them with swords and they're hitting us back with swords, usually you just want to do as much damage as possible to put them down. But that's not the worst place to end the video. In the comments below, have you been in a scenario where that feat was good? Would you use that feat? Do you want an Imperial Dragon tattooed on your arm? Yeah. I gotta talk to Idaho. I need tattoo art. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I think this week, with the advent of the Lost Omens character guide out in full, we're gonna put Wednesday Afternoon Worship and the Inner C2 Electric Boogaloo on hold to talk more about, well, all the fun stuff in that book. Lots of 2E stuff coming out this week. I will see you then.